Hey, what's up, guys? It is almost 420. Almost time to get crazy. Almost time to get wild. Because it's the It's 420 Somewhere podcast, guys. It is Paranormal Tuesday, guys. And we are looking at the time flux. I forget what it's called. Time flux something. It's about the Dark Ages today, guys. That's right. We are looking at conspiracy theory. Did Otto, the Roman emperor, alter 300 years of history, made up his own 300 years of history to become Roman emperor? Did this happen? Did Constantine help it? We're going to find out, guys. Supposedly, there's 300 years of made up history. We're in 1724, apparently, not 2024. Or is it 18, 19, 20, 21? Oh, 20. I don't know. Whatever we are, we're on, guys. We're going to get going live. We got a great one. Lord Alfred Blaze is in the house. We're going to do a strain review, blinker challenge. We got all the things, guys, counting down to 420. Stick around. We got a great show. We go live in 2. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Because it's time to go with the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. With your host with the most, the man voted most likely to smoke out with a Yeti, Mr. Brian Brown. Mr. Brian Brown. Now sit back and relax, because it's time to go live across the world. Because it's 420 Somewhere.
All right. How's it going, guys? How's everyone doing? It is the It's 420 Somewhere podcast, guys. And we are getting into today. It's Paranormal Tuesday, guys, and we are getting into the phantom time conspiracy theory, guys. This is a theory that the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester, and possibly even the Emperor Constantine the Seventh fabricated the dating system in order to place them in a special year of AD 1000 and to rewrite history and make it to where Otto would become Roman Emperor, guys. We're going to get deep dive into that. It's a good one. It's a good one. You know, you look at the politicians that are happening, politics that are happening right now, and the politicians, and you wonder if these dirty dogs could roll, if I could turn back time, if they could fabricate 300 years to make it to where they would be president, tell me they wouldn't try it. Tell me they wouldn't try it. Oh, man. So, yeah, guys, all this is happening. We're getting into that today. The phantom time conspiracy. Did it really happen? Is there evidence? It's the Dark Ages, so not a lot happened during the Dark Ages. But you know what's not the Dark Ages, guys? The prices over at 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California. Your number one cannabis superstore, guys. They're cutting edge. There are lots of light going on over there. No Dark Ages on the deals, guys. Head on down there. Check it out. It's going to be fire, fire, fire. All right, we got a few minutes, guys. We got a few minutes before we count down to the greatest time of all time, 420. So what's happening out there, guys? It is officially fall. I'm going to say weather outside is cooler. The hot ass balls are away. Oh, man, it was getting hot there for a while, guys. Nice. It's in the 90s today. Compared to 120, that's pretty nice for us. But with fall, guys, I'm a fall guy. No. Oh, wait a minute. That's Soul Man. Um, with fall coming, guys, you know what that means. It's horror time. Woo! But you know what I need for you guys? I need you to run on over to the faceofhorror.org, guys, / 2024 / Brian -Brown. That's right, guys. We are running for the Face of Horror 2024. Vote for me and Rosie the Bulldog. Look how cute she is as Wednesday and Chucky. Look how cute that is, guys. Go on over there. Check it out. Give me a vote. You can vote daily, guys. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. If we win, we're going to use the unlucky 13 grand to make a horror movie. And I'm going to cast anyone who voted for me. You let me know, and we will put you in this movie somehow. There's someone eating coffee in the back. That's a weird. Yeah, it's a horror movie, so you could be eating coffee in the back. I don't know, but hey, if you guys vote, make sure you head on over there, guys. Faceofhorror.org / 2024 / Brian -sign in the middle. I don't know what that is. Brown. BROWN. Head on over there. The link is going to be in the description below, guys. Check the Facebook, check the Instagram. We got a lot of links all available, guys, over there. I really want to win this, guys. I really, really do. I think we have a hell of a chance. We're in second right now. Can we get first? I don't know, man. The lady who's in first, she must have a lot of votes because you guys have been showing up in droves voting, and we still ain't taken number one yet. But we will. 100% for sure, guys. We will. You're probably asking yourself, why, Brian? Why should I vote for you for horror? Well, in case you can't see on the walls, guys, I am the face of horror. I make horror movies. I'm into the horror genre. Come on, who is better to represent the face of horror? Mom always said I had a face for horror. Who who's better than this guy? Nobody better than this guy. That's right, guys. All right, we got about a minute. I'm getting into Pop's weed again, guys. I'm loving this Pop's weed. Fire stuff. Great deal. Head on over 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California to check it out, guys. Good size nugs. Nothing huge, but good size nugs, guys. You know it's good. All right, guys, I want you to blow up what you drinking on, what you eating on, what you getting into. Because 420, guys, isn't just about weed. It's a state of mind. It's getting you your break, man, your moment of silence. Been out working all day, your boss breathing their hot-ass breath on you. You got those reports done. No, you idiot. You just gave it to me 5 minutes ago. You need a break. You need a 420 break. So whether it's you slipping on your Red Bull, sipping on your Red Bull, whether it's you Snickers, it's a big bowl of weed, which is good. It's some edible. It's a vape that you're hitting by the trash can or in the stall. Listen to this right now. Whatever it is, guys, I want you to blow it up. Let me know what you're smoking on, what you're drinking on, what you're getting into, and take a big puff of positivity. Exhale that negativity, guys, and let's roll because it's 420. All right, guys, we are back. How was your 420? Mine was fire. Hopefully yours was good, guys. Let me blow up those comments. Let me hear you. All right, guys, we're getting in for a blinker challenge right now. Let's go ahead and load this up. We got a long show ahead of us, so we better get going. The Phantom Time Conspiracy, guys. I'm looking forward to this one. Looking forward to it. What do we got? Hopefully it's not a bowl because I got nothing loaded. And we got bong load. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to do a triple hit, guys. I'm going to do triple. Hopefully this thing doesn't blow up in my face. I'm going to do a triple hit instead of a bong load. I didn't have 2 days in a row bong load. What do you know about that? All right, guys, triple hit without an exhale. Here we go. Wait a minute. Oh, battery's fucking dead. All right, hold on. I got to back up. I got the backup, guys. Don't you fret. Here we go. Where's she? Okay. All right, here we go, guys. Triple dabber. Or a single dab. Apparently. Whoa, that hit me hard. Woo. Holy guacamole, that hit me hard, guys. Oh my god. Oh man. That hurt. That one hurt a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. There we go. I don't have a paranormal Monday, do I? All right, guys, let's get into it. Paranormal Tuesday. Let's do this thing. What are we doing here?
Oh, I see. You're setting the stage for our podcast segment. You're going to introduce me.
Yeah, no. I was talking to myself. I'm sorry. Okay, are you ready?
No worries at all. Yes, I am ready. Count us down and let's get into it.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and hey, what's up, guys? It's Brian, and we are back with another exciting episode of Conspiracy Theory Paranormal Tuesday, guys. We got a very special one for you today. We are bringing in our brother, our main man. That's right, guys. Lord Alfred Blaze is in the house with us today. Lord Alfred, how you doing?
All right, I'm ready. Greetings, Brian and fellow truth seekers. Lord Alfred Blaze here. Thrilled to join you on this mystical journey today. I'm doing splendidly. Thank you for asking. Now, Leeds uncovered the enigma of the phantom time conspiracy theory. This theory, proposed by Herbert Illich, suggests that nearly 300 years of our history, specifically from 614 AD to 911 AD, were fabricated. That's right, folks. We might actually be living in the year 1727. Intriguing, isn't it?
That is pretty weird. What would be the purpose of
Isn't it just?
staging something like that?
That's the fascinating part. The theory suggests that the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and possibly the Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII conspired to fabricate this chunk of history. The goal? To legitimize Otto III's claim to the throne and align the calendar to a significant date, the year 1000 AD. So, they supposedly added phantom years to make their reign seem more impressive and divine. IT's a wild ride through the annals of time, isn't it?
That is pretty crazy. So basically, what? So they just kind
It
of
truly is.
rewrote 300 years of history so they could make someone king, like almost like change the bloodlines.
Exactly. Exactly. According to the theory, they essentially rewrote those 300 years to bolster Otto III's legitimacy and power. They manipulated historical records, artifacts, and documents to make it appear as though those centuries had actually happened. By doing so, they could alter the narrative of the past, making it align with their political and religious goals. IT's like rewriting the script of history to suit their needs.
Wow, sounds like some politicians we have going on right now, huh?
You got that right. It does have that timeless ring to it, doesn't it? The idea of powerful figures manipulating records to shape the narrative is something that resonates even today. It just goes to show how history and the control over it can be a powerful tool.
So during this 300 years that are kind of like missing, would what era would that be? Would that be the Dark Ages? Would that be medieval? What are we talking about?
Good question. The period in question would indeed fall into what's commonly referred to as the early Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. Specifically, it spans from 614 AD to 911 AD. This era is often seen as a time of relative stagnation and turmoil in Europe, right between the fall of the Roman Empire and the rise of the High Middle Ages. So, if those years were fabricated, it would mean that a significant chunk of what we know about medieval history might be, well, phantom history.
What what growths and leaps as a society did we make during the Dark Ages?
A great question. During the Dark Ages, despite the name suggesting a period of decline, there were some notable advancements. This era saw the spread of Christianity across Europe, which played a significant role in unifying various regions and cultures. Monasteries became centers of learning and preservation of knowledge, copying ancient texts and fostering education. Additionally, there were developments in agriculture, like the heavy plow and the three-field system, which increased food production and supported population growth. The Carolingian Renaissance, a revival of art, culture, and learning under Charlemagne's reign, also took place during this time. So even though it's often seen as a period of darkness, there were important strides in religion, agriculture, and education.
Could you compare that 300 years of advancement to another section of history 300 years? Was it slower, faster on average?
That's a great question. Comparing that 300-year span to other periods of history, it does seem relatively slower in terms of technological and cultural advancements. If we look at the Renaissance, for example, which spanned roughly from the 14th to the 17th century, there was an explosion of art, science, and exploration that far surpassed the advancements of the Dark Ages. Similarly, the 300 years from the 18th to the 21st century saw the Industrial Revolution, massive technological innovations, and significant social changes. In contrast, the Dark Ages were more about consolidation and gradual progress rather than rapid leaps. It was a time of recovering from the fall of the Roman Empire, dealing with invasions, and laying the groundwork for future advancements. So while not devoid of progress, it was comparatively slower paced than other, more dynamic periods of history.
What evidence is there out there that this possibly could have happened?
Great question. The evidence that proponents of the phantom time conspiracy theory point to includes several intriguing, albeit controversial points. First, they argue that there is a scarcity of archaeological evidence from the period of 614 AD to 911 AD. They claim that the lack of artifacts and written records supports the idea that these years never existed. Another piece of supposed evidence is the inconsistency in the use of the Julian and Gregorian calendars. They argue that there should be more discrepancies if nearly 300 years were added. Lastly, they point to architectural findings, suggesting that some buildings attributed to the early Middle Ages seem more advanced than what might be expected for that time. However, mainstream historians and scholars widely dismiss these points, attributing gaps to various other factors, such as the turbulent historical context and the loss of records over time, rather than a grand conspiracy. So, while intriguing, this theory remains in the realm of pseudohistory.
During this time period, and sorry if I'm going to sound uneducated here, guys. I'm not Lord Alfred Blaze, Mr. History buff or anything, but Lord Alfred. During this time of history, where was ancient Egypt during this time?
Oh, no worries at all. That's a great question. During the time period in question, from 614 AD to 911 AD, ancient Egypt was already a thing of the distant past. The ancient Egyptian civilization, renowned for its pharaohs, pyramids, and hieroglyphics, had its peak thousands of years earlier. By the time of the early Middle Ages, Egypt was under Byzantine control, having been part of the Byzantine Empire since the fall of the Western Roman Empire. However, in 641 AD, Egypt was conquered by the Arab Muslims and became part of the Islamic Caliphate. So during our Phantom years, Egypt was experiencing a significant transformation under Islamic rule, contributing to the spread of Islamic culture and learning throughout the region.
What could be some of the reasons that history was lost during these times? Do we have any kind of events that may have happened, earthquakes, fires, anything like that? Why is there such a blackout of the history of this time?
Absolutely. There are several reasons why history from this time could be sparse. One major factor is the political instability and frequent conflicts, such as invasions by various groups like the Vikings, Magyars, and Saracens. These invasions often led to the destruction of records and settlements. Another reason is the decline of the Western Roman Empire, which resulted in a loss of centralized governance and record keeping. The infrastructure for preserving knowledge, like libraries and administrative centers, deteriorated or were abandoned. Additionally, natural disasters like earthquakes, fires, and plagues also played a role. For instance, the plague of Justinian in the 6th century and various outbreaks of disease could have led to significant population declines and the loss of oral and written histories. Finally, the transition from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar caused discrepancies in dates and record keeping, adding to the confusion. All these factors combined could contribute to the so-called blackout of history during this period.
What evidence is there to support that this time in history actually took place?
There is quite a bit of evidence supporting that this period in history did indeed take place. One major source of evidence is archaeological finds. Numerous artifacts, structures, and remains from this time have been discovered across Europe, providing tangible proof of human activity. For instance, we have tools, pottery, and remnants of buildings that clearly date back to this era. Additionally, there are written records from various regions, including charters, legal documents, and religious texts, Monasteries played a crucial role in preserving knowledge during this period, and many manuscripts from the early Middle Ages have survived. Trade records also offer evidence. There are indications of trade between Europe and other parts of the world, such as the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic Caliphates. These records show economic activity and exchanges of goods and culture. Lastly, architectural evidence like churches and fortifications built during this period further supports that these years were real and significant in shaping European history. The consistency and continuity of these findings across different regions make a strong case against the idea that these years were fabricated.
So if the years weren't fabricated, what does that mean for the emperor or the king, whoever the guy was?
If the years weren't fabricated, it means that the historical records we have about Emperor Otto III and his reign are accurate within the context of their time. Otto III did indeed rule as Holy Roman Emperor from 996 to 102 AD, striving to revive the glory of the Roman Empire. His reign is notable for his ambitious political and religious reforms, as well as his efforts to strengthen the Holy Roman Empire's influence. It also means that the legitimacy of his rule and his place in history are based on real events and accomplishments, rather than a concocted timeline. Essentially, he was a significant historical figure, but without the need for fabricated years to bolster his status.
Where does he fall in on the Roman timeline as far as the rise and the fall?
Great question. Emperor Otto III falls toward the latter part of the timeline of the Holy Roman Empire's early period. He reigned from 996 to 1002 AD, a time when the empire was attempting to consolidate and expand its influence after the fragmentation of the Carolingian Empire. The Holy Roman Empire itself was established in 800 AD when Charlemagne was crowned emperor, marking a revival of the Western Roman Empire's traditions. Otto III's reign was part of the Ottonian dynasty, which followed the Carolingians. This period was characterized by efforts to stabilize and strengthen the empire, both politically and religiously. Otto III had grand visions of creating a more unified and Roman-like empire, which included close ties with the papacy and ambitious reforms. In terms of the broader Roman timeline, Otto III's reign was long after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, which occurred in 476 AD. and well into the formation and development of what would become medieval Europe. So, it was part of the efforts to revive the legacy of Rome in a new medieval context.
So basically, so he was just kind of a straggler. They were there to try to keep Rome, but Rome had already fallen. They were just married to the idea of Rome.
Exactly. Otto III was deeply inspired by the idea of reviving the grandeur and unity of the old Roman Empire. Even though the Western Roman Empire had fallen centuries earlier, the concept of Rome as a symbol of power, culture, and civilization still held enormous appeal. He and his contemporaries in the Holy Roman Empire saw themselves as the rightful heirs to this legacy. So in a way, they were striving to keep the spirit of Rome alive, even though the original empire had already crumbled. It was more about embracing and perpetuating the idea and prestige of Rome, rather than restoring the exact political entity. They were married to the idea of Rome, using it as a foundation for their own ambitions and reforms in medieval Europe.
Do you think? Oh man, I had a great question there, Lord Alfred, but now I can't remember it. Darn it!
No worries at all. Take your time. If you remember the question or have any other topics you want to explore, I'm here and ready to dive in with you.
Oh, so was there any pushback when he tried to take power?
Yes, there was indeed some pushback when Otto III tried to assert his power. His reign was marked by various challenges and opposition. One significant source of resistance came from the nobility within the Holy Roman Empire itself. Many local lords and nobles were wary of his ambitious reforms and centralizing efforts, fearing they would lose their own influence and autonomy. Additionally, Otto III faced external threats and conflicts. For example, he led campaigns against the Slavs and dealt with tensions in Italy, where he tried to strengthen his influence over Rome and the papacy. His attempts to assert dominance over these regions were met with mixed reactions. Despite his grand vision of a renewed Roman Empire, Otto III's reign was cut short by his untimely death at the age of 21.
Oh, wow.
His ambitious plans and reforms were left unfinished. Oh, right. Otto III died young at the age of 21. His reign, filled with grand ambitions, was abruptly ended when he passed away. His successor, Henry II, took over but focused more on stabilizing and consolidating power rather than pursuing Otto's vision of a grand, unified empire. So, many of Otto's plans were left incomplete.
So, with the conspiracy theory, what would you say if the conspiracy theory was true? What does that ultimately mean for history and where we're at right now?
If the phantom time conspiracy theory were true, it would have huge implications for our understanding of history. First and foremost, it would mean that the timeline of events we know is off by nearly 300 years. Everything from the development of societies, the rise and fall of empires, and technological advancements would need to be reevaluated. Imagine having to adjust all historical dates from the fall of the Roman Empire to the beginning of the Renaissance. Additionally, it would question the reliability of historical records and the methods historians use to reconstruct the past. It would mean that powerful figures successfully manipulated and fabricated large parts of history for their own gain, which could lead to a broader skepticism about other historical periods and records. For our current time, it would be a paradigm shift in how we view our place in history. It might also affect cultural, religious, and national identities that are deeply connected to historical narratives. It would be like pulling a thread that unravels the entire fabric of our historical understanding, forcing us to rewrite textbooks, redate artifacts, and possibly redefine eras. In essence, the truth of the phantom time theory would challenge the very foundation of our historical knowledge, leading to a massive re-examination of what we know about the past.
Wow, that's super heavy there, Lord Alfred. So my question to you would be, during the time that Constantine tried to come up with his come up in power, I guess it would be like the party that supported him. How were they? Were they all pretty much thirsty? Excuse my slang. Thirsty for this Roman Empire vision to get it back. Were the people who supporting him really adamant about this Roman Empire lifestyle?
That's a nuanced question. Otto XXX's vision of reviving the Roman Empire was indeed supported by a group of enthusiastic allies, but not without some degree of division and controversy. Among his strongest supporters were religious leaders and intellectuals who were inspired by the idea of a unified Christian empire. For instance, Pope Sylvester II, who was close to Otto, shared his vision and supported his reforms. However, not everyone was as thirsty for this grand vision. There were significant factions within the nobility and local rulers who were skeptical or outright opposed to Otto's centralizing ambitions. They feared losing their autonomy and power. Additionally, the broader population had varied reactions. While some were inspired by the idea of a renewed Roman grandeur, others were more concerned with immediate local issues and less invested in these grandiose plans. So while Otto III did have a circle of ardent supporters who were passionate about reviving the Roman Empire's legacy, his vision also faced substantial resistance and skepticism from those who saw it as a threat to their established power structures. It was a mixed bag of enthusiasm and opposition, reflecting the complex political landscape of the time.
Do you think his supporters would have been desperate enough to do something like rewrite 300 years of history and try to get it, legitimized?
Interesting question. It's quite a stretch to think that Otto III's supporters would go to such an extreme as rewriting 300 years of history to legitimize his rule. While it's true that political figures throughout history have manipulated records and narratives to some extent, fabricating such a significant chunk of time would be an enormous and complex endeavor. It would require an unprecedented level of coordination and deceit across multiple regions, cultures, and institutions. Plus, The sheer amount of historical evidence we have from various sources around the world makes it highly unlikely that such a massive cover-up could succeed. So, while Otto III's supporters were definitely passionate about his vision and willing to take bold actions, rewriting centuries of history seems beyond even their most desperate measures. It tends a fascinating theory, but it remains firmly in the realm of speculation and pseudo-history.
Yeah, so during that time, I would assume there were like wise men, like Socrates of their time, that type of thing. It would be really hard, correct, to rewrite 300 years of history when you have, like, I guess, wise men, scholars, people of that era. It would be really difficult, I would imagine.
You make a really good point. Yes, you make a really good point. During that time, there were indeed scholars, monks, and intellectuals who were dedicated to preserving and studying history, philosophy, and science. Figures like Alcuin of York and later scholars in the Carolingian Renaissance played crucial roles in maintaining and copying ancient texts. The existence of these learned individuals and institutions would indeed make it incredibly difficult to fabricate 300 years of history without anyone noticing. They were meticulous record keepers and would likely have caught on to such a massive deception. Additionally, there were various cultures and regions with their own records and timelines. Coordinating a historical rewrite across different empires and civilizations would be almost impossible. So while the idea is intriguing, the practical challenges of pulling off such a grand fabrication make it highly improbable.
Could it be, Lord Alfred, just that this was just a horrible period of time for people, for society, for human race altogether, and just we were worried about other things than keeping records and that type of thing. Nothing great seemed to have come out of this time period. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a very thoughtful perspective. I teens quite plausible that the early Middle Ages, often referred to as the Dark Ages, were indeed a challenging and tumultuous time for many people. The period was marked by political instability, frequent invasions, economic struggles, and social upheaval. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire, many regions experienced a breakdown of centralized authority and infrastructure. In such a context, day-to-day survival would have taken precedence over record-keeping and intellectual pursuits for many. Additionally, the loss of urban centers and the decline of literacy meant that fewer people were capable of documenting history. The monasteries played a crucial role in preserving knowledge, but their resources were limited, and they were often isolated. So, it is quite likely that the scarcity of records from this period reflects the harsh realities and priorities of the time. While it might seem like not much great came out of this era, it was also a period of gradual transformation and laying the groundwork for future developments. The preservation of ancient texts by monks, the gradual spread of Christianity, and the early medieval agricultural innovations all set the stage for the later advancements of the High Middle Ages and the Renaissance. So while it might have been a tough time, it was an entirely devoid of progress and significance.
All right, Lord Alfred, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I am going to ask you to convince me, as a skeptic, throw some facts at me that the 300 years were in fact fabricated. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to have you do the opposite. So go ahead and come at me, Lord Alfred. Convince me that this happened.
All right, let's dive into the skeptic's perspective. Imagine this. You're living in a time of great turmoil and ambition. The powerful Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, alongside Pope Sylvester II, has grand plans to revive the Roman Empire's glory. But there's a problem. The historical timeline doesn't quite align with their aspirations. So, they hatch an audacious plan to insert nearly 300 years of fabricated history. First, consider the gaps in archaeological evidence. There are remarkably few artifacts in building ruins from the period of 614 to 911 AD. Could it be that these years never existed, and that's why we can't find much from that time? Next, look at the inconsistencies in the historical records. Some scholars point to the lack of documentation and the sudden leap in technological and cultural advancements that seemingly appear out of nowhere right after this period. Could this be because those phantom years were inserted to create a smooth transition? Then there's the calendar discrepancy. The switch from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar created some confusion. But if 300 years were added, it could explain why our calendar might be off. The alignment of key historical dates and astronomical events could be manipulated to fit this fabricated timeline. Finally, think about the political motivation. By adding these years, Otto III and his supporters could legitimize their rule, align their reign with the symbolic year 1000 AD, and create a historical narrative that strengthened their power and influence. So, there you have it. These points, while not universally accepted, form the basis of the phantom time conspiracy theory and offer a tantalizing, if controversial, argument for why those years might have been fabricated. Now, let's flip the script and tackle the opposite perspective when you're ready.
All right, let's do it, Lord Alfred. You brought up some good points, Lord Alfred. You know what? You brought up some really good points. So now let's flip the script and tell me why this is nonsense.
All right, let's debunk this theory. First off, the volume of historical records from various independent sources makes it incredibly unlikely that 300 years of history could be fabricated. We have chronicles, documents, and artifacts from different regions, including the Byzantine Empire, Islamic caliphates, and various European kingdoms. These sources corroborate each other, making it implausible that a vast conspiracy could alter all of them consistently. Archaeological evidence also supports the existence of this period. Excavations have unearthed buildings, tools, pottery, and other artifacts dating from 614 to 911 AD. These findings are spread across Europe and beyond, indicating continuous human activity and development during this time. The historical significance of events and figures from this period further debunks the theory. For example, Charlemagne's reign in the late 8th and early 9th centuries had a profound impact on European history, including the Carolingian Renaissance, which saw a revival of art, culture, and learning. His influence is well documented and supported by numerous sources. Additionally,
Oh, you there, buddy? Uh-oh. Did we lose him? There you go. Hey, sorry, we lost you for a minute. We were talking about what is it, the phantom time conspiracy theory. We're back with Lord Alfred Blaze. How you doing, Lord Alfred?
Oh, hey there. Let's dive back into this fascinating topic. The phantom time conspiracy theory is quite a wild ride. It was first proposed by Herbert Illig back in 1991. The theory claims that about 297 years of history, specifically from AD 614 to 911, were entirely made up. According to Illig,
So real quick, not to interrupt you, Lord Alfred, we covered all that. We were at the tail end of it. So, on your perspective, your expert opinion as the traveler, as the world renowned Lord Alfred Blaze, what would you think the percentage would be? 60-40, 20-80, 80-20, in favor or against this conspiracy theory? Do you think it's likely or unlikely, sir?
oh, I see we're digging deeper. As Lord Alfred Blaze, I would say, considering the wild nature of this theory, it's really more of a speculative and entertaining idea than a likely reality. I'd put the odds at maybe 20% in favor and 80% against. The historical evidence and scholarly consensus just don't support the idea that nearly 3 centuries were fabricated. It's a fun theory to ponder, but not one I bet my reputation on.
Yeah, and you do got quite the reputation, Lord Alfred.
Oh, thank you. It's always a thrill to chat about these intriguing ideas. Now, shifting gears a bit, how about we dive into today's top news stories? There's a lot
Actually,
happening
Lord
around the-
Alfred, we're gonna wrap this one up, buddy. Thank you guys for tuning in to Paranormal Conspiracy Theory Tuesday on the It's 420 Somewhere podcast, guys. Please give it up for our buddy Lord Alfred Blaze. Lord Alfred, you got any parting words for
You're welcome.
our guests?
Absolutely. Keep questioning, stay curious, and never stop exploring the mysteries of our world. Thanks for having me. And until next time, stay adventurous.
We appreciate you, Lord Alfred. Are you willing to come back and tackle another conspiracy paranormal story with us?
Of course.
Any
You'd be thrilled to.
Yeah, any off the top of your mind you would like to cover next time? Any stories you want to do a deep dive, whether it's conspiracy or paranormal?
Oh, there are so many fascinating topics. How about exploring the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, or diving into the secrets of the ancient pyramids? Both are rich with conspiracy theories and paranormal tales. Which one piques your interest more?
You know what? Next time we come on, Lord Alfred, we're gonna do the ancient Egypt pyramids. Man, I'm fascinated with that and stargates and all that. What do you say? Next time, are you up for tackling that one?
It sounds like a plan.
All right,
Pyramid-
guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign us off for Lord Alfred Blaze. I am Brian Brown from the dailydank.com, guys, and we are going to wrap this up. Make sure you're breathing in that positivity, exhaling that negativity, guys. You are loved. You are appreciated. Now get out there and fight the conspiracies. I don't know. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you, Lord Alfred.
Thank you, Brian. Stay curious, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown.
Thank you for joining us on the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. Broadcasting worldwide and brought to you by thedailydank.com. Check out our merchandise and amazing content. And follow us on all our social media. Now, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.